This video is brought to you by Manscaped.com, the global men's lifestyle brand that is once again setting the bar in men's grooming standards, trusted by over 12 million men. Father's Day is coming up, and apparently my father does not appreciate collector boosters, so I will keep that set for myself. In the meantime, I'm gonna get him something he'll actually use. Meet the Chairman Pro package from Manscaped, the perfect Father's Day gift for a dad who deserves to look and feel his best. This isn't just any razor. The Chairman Pro is a high-tech, dad-approved grooming upgrade and can tackle up to 5-day growth. It's waterproof, so we can clean it easily. My dad cleans his hats in the dishwasher. That's not a joke, it's a real thing he actually does. So I think he'll appreciate a waterproof razor so he can clean it as easily as he needs to. And since dad is always asking you to charge your phone, now he can take his own advice. Thanks to the digital battery display, no more excuses for looking scruffy, and up to 75 minutes of runtime on a single charge. Manscaped also has a 30-day money-back guarantee, which means he can try this package risk-free, and they offer a 2-year warranty on power devices. This Father's Day, skip the boring gifts and get him something he'll actually use and love. Use promo code THEBOLD for 15% off your order plus free shipping. That's 15% off plus free international shipping when you use the code THEBOLD on checkout. And if you want Manscaped today, you can find it at a retailer near you. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring this video. So today we're playing TSR's 1984 Advanced Dungeons & Dragons module called The Forest Oracle. My friends are super excited to play this today. We all do have differing playstyles, so it's hard for us to get together to play a homebrew campaign, so we usually just play stuff like this.
Okay, everyone, today we are playing a fun little Advanced Dungeons & Dragons module called The Forest Oracle. It's about saving some farmers in a little alcove called the Downs from a blight.
Isn't this module known for, being the worst?
Hey, a module is what you make it, okay? It doesn't matter how it's written. We have the capacity to make anything fun.
That's actually not true at all. We actually get bored super quick, and the only fun we have is watching you freak out as we move away from the plot.
Okay, I don't freak out, okay? I confidently, yet sternly, tell both of you guys that we should stay on track.
So, the Forest Oracle is known for being not the best, and Tate does have a point. Last time we ran a module, we were supposed to fight a wizard, and we got caught up in the logistics of running a recently commandeered horse stable. So I think running a module with a little bit more direction will be good for everyone.
Okay, so before we start, I told you all to make some characters.
Yes, as you guys know, my name is Landon. I am playing a paladin that serves under the Justice of Paladine. I have written a 42-page heartbreaking story for my character. However, Zach did say it is too sad, so I will refrain. It was a 42-page document. I'm not reading all that. This is a 4-hour adventure.
Yeah, I'm Tate. I'm playing a rogue. I'm Corey. I'm playing Avishkar, the Wizard of...
We know.
So Corey has this OC, which I think means original character. It's like where you spend a lot of time on a character. He's had it since he's been 7 when he played Wizard 101 for the first time. And when I said Landon had a 42-page document for his backstory, you have to go over 16 years of blog posts in order to get the full story of Avishkar.
Got the characters. Let's begin. The sun is setting as you approach the Downs, a hidden vale farmers claimed from the wilderness long ago. All does not appear well here. The fading light of day cannot disguise the curled and withered leaves hanging lifelessly from the trees. Rotted fruit rests upon the ground, blackened and soft. The dry, brittle grass breaks underfoot. The Downs has never been like this. Something is terribly wrong.
So the adventure has a pretty straightforward beginning. Everyone meets inside of a tavern. The outside vegetation is diminishing. It's not the most inspired beginning to an adventure, but it's from 1984, and no one at my table really takes notes, so there's less to keep track of, which is nice. Anyways, the party will meet a wizard that's...
I challenge him to a duel.
Right. Corey, we go through this every campaign. We know Avishkar has
Been fighting for millennia against all kinds of wizards to prove that he is the greatest for his strength.
Right. Let me finish. This is a level 2 to 4 campaign, so you make whatever headcanon you need in order to justify that.
I think he can take him.
Let's not start this again. All right, Mr. Wizard, was it?
Mage! Tellin' the mage.
Yeah, we would be glad to help with this blight.
I use my Supreme King Hockey to overpower him.
You're gonna overpower him?
Well, his soul, yes.
That's wild. Is that how wizards duel?
Can we stop? We haven't even been given the quest yet. Dylan, what is the speculated source of this blight? Is it maybe a corrupted druid or a lich? Maybe even an evil god? It was a different time. So let's just ignore that and it won't come up again. Anyways, they stay the night at the inn and then wake up the next day to go on the Old Wilderness Road, and you'll notice that all the names are pretty straight to the point, and also you start to realize the writing is pretty unique.
The New Wilderness Road runs roughly north to south. The Downs lies just off the road below the Great Old Wood. The road is wide enough for 2 wagons to pass one another, but just barely.
Oddly specific.
I'm sure that'll have some importance later on. Maybe there will be 3 carriages, and it'll cause a traffic jam.
Do you want to put actual United States currency down on that assumption? Because I will, right now.
I don't have the money on me, but if I did, I would.
I can flow you. Seriously, I have 220s.
No, let's continue. So traveling in these old modules used to take a lot of time, and I'm really not sure why that is. I don't know if it was to make the module seem longer, but the random encounters can make things seem pretty boring and dull, and with this adventure, the case is not much different.
Someone is really going to have to break down the ecology of these woods for me, because we've been run up on by countless groups of tigers, giant ants, and literal cavemen.
It's been a little exhausting, but I'm sure we're close to our destination.
Oh, you guys actually missed it at about 6 in-game hours back.
Why would you do that to us?
Oh no, it's in the book.
So every random encounter we rolled has to be re-rolled?
Yes.
Hey, it's cool. It's like shiny hunting.
Shiny hunting? Like in Pokemon? We can do that at any time. I don't need to make a full night unavailable on my work schedule to make it feel like I'm grinding in a JRPG.
A group of 7 men approaches. They are following the road east and are making good time, neither tarrying nor running. Their faces are expressionless. One is dressed as a cleric of some sort, and another is dressed as a traveling drummer. The others could be peasants or serfs going from one location to another for harvest season. Each carries some sort of weapon. It is plain that they are not soldiers by their haphazard way of walking. They do not seem to be joking loudly or singing as they advance.
I'm sorry. What does that mean?
Oh, it's written in the module.
That was written?
Yeah, it's supposed to be read out loud word for word because it's in this little box.
Well, you clearly haven't pointed out anyone else on this trail, so why would you describe these 2 unassuming people so intimately?
Roll initiative.
So after the party defeats the brigands and their camp in some more exciting travel, the party comes across a lake where they see a deer walks up to the water and drinks from it. It takes a couple steps back, stumbling, and falls asleep.
Are we in Flint?
Hey, insensitive. This is a magical world. Lead doesn't exist.
Avishkar's sword is made of lead, so that locate object spells don't work on it. So no one can locate this lake.
I would assume so, which makes it interesting it would be on this map.
So the party comes across a pavilion by the water. It seems like it's been abandoned for a long time. There's actually food rotting inside the kitchen and a thick layer of dust on all the furniture and the floor.
Okay, well, let's find what we can and go.
Well, we are not petty thieves. We are heroes.
This place is abandoned. Am I supposed to consider the ethical implications of stealing rusted pots and pans from a condemned building?
Can I roll for perception?
Yeah.
15.
The fireplace has no secret compartments.
What? I wasn't even looking at the fireplace.
Oh, I'm just following the book. Also, someone sleeping on the bed.
What?
Probably drank from the same lake as the deer.
A nymph appears behind you.
Who are you?
The nymph looks at you and says, "This is my boyfriend Evan. He was going to leave me, so I enchanted the lake with a sleep spell to keep him here.
Oh.
I'm also 16.
I don't want to help a random 16-year-old nymph with a lover's quarrel.
I need help waking him up. I've done a terrible thing.
We're not doing that.
If you do, I'll give you a potion of invisibility and another potion on top of that to reverse the spell on the lake."
Why can't you just pour the potion in the lake yourself? Why can't you wake him up? Also, you having a potion of invisibility makes it way worse.
It doesn't exactly say why she can't do it herself.
We can't be seen with you here. I don't want to be implicated.
You guys just have to slap him and he'll wake up.
Can't the nymph just slap him? Isn't this just the regular sleep spell? Can't he just wake up after a short amount of time passes? And why is his house so dirty? Wait a minute, does that mean he's been asleep for months? Wouldn't he just die of lack of water and food?
Wait, what does this have to do with saving the Downs from a blight?
Nothing. I think it's just a side quest.
So we're technically still just traveling?
Yes.
We are leaving! I don't want your weird random liquid infected by the Deepwater Horizon. You can figure out your lover's quarrel by yourself.
So the party's really loving it so far. It's kind of giving that Lord of the Rings vibe where it's just traveling the entire time. And after a little bit, the party comes across
Another inn?
full of characters and stories, I assume.
Actually, you hear a multitude of stories. You hear about the elven city of Oran, the city of gold, which has been sighted to the north by foresters.
See, that's interesting. That's world building.
Can I incite that?
Sure.
$18.
It's a lie.
What?
Yeah, I actually have a whole table of stories that are both real and fake.
And what, we were supposed to listen to them and just see which ones have the most relevance?
Yeah.
What is with this module and just stretching out everything for as long as it can go?
Hey, you need to get more immersed.
I can't. We don't even have phones at the table. I have no other choice than to get immersed in this carpool of a story we have.
Tate, we have done a lot of fighting and roleplay. Would you like me to put on some soap cutting videos or perhaps Subway Surfers to entertain you?
Oh, I'm sorry, Corey. Can you give me a rundown of everything we've done so far?
We've traveled from the Downs, fought bandits, killed 30 to 40 different aggressive wildlife, most likely stunting ecological growth. We interrupted a teenage folktale and now ended up at another tavern.
We've been playing for 4 hours, and not once have we heard anything about the actual mission of why we came out here.
It's a slow burn. I think it's neat. So the party heads to bed, and then after hearing a bunch of lies, I guess, they wake up to find that
We were robbed? By rat folk? Was there any way to notice while we slept? I mean, how did we not hear them?
How dare they sneak past the great Avishkar and steal down what is theirs?
Corey, they didn't even take anything from you. Anytime anything happens to Avishkar, you get so mad you nearly roll your eyes in the back of your head.
Please tell me how it is possible that the rat folk even got in here when we locked the door and we were sleeping.
Wait, that's a good point. I'll look for another way in.
You notice a hidden panel behind the wardrobe, and you're attacked by all the rat folk.
How much gold?
2,500.
Do we even need to continue with the quest?
Don't say that. Okay, don't say that.
We found $2,500
Gold.
in the insulation of a random inn.
The problem is you're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna move all of this gold.
I put it in my inventory?
This is an older module. It's actually written so that you have to figure out the logistical decisions you have to make to move this amount of gold.
That's really invigorating stuff. No, really, can we balance my character's checkbook after we're done too?
Hey, this is part of the adventure, all right? Not everything needs to be actions and explosions, okay? The world calls for an accountant sometimes.
Okay, so that is about an ounce a piece at 2,500 pieces to pounds, which is like 157 pounds. Then you'll need some way to transport it. And then the innkeeper shows up and says, "Thank you so much for taking care of the rats." This is summarized, by the way. They have been stealing all the people's money. I'll let you keep 10% if you give it back, though.
What? Did he know about the rat folk?
I guess.
And he just let us get robbed? So he was working with the rats?
No, I assume they were threatening him so they could continue their operation.
I'm sorry. What is happening?
So the party heads back on the road, and they keep traveling until they make it to the tunnels underneath the Dragon Teeth Mountains. And this is where converting an old Advanced Dungeons & Dragons module to 5th edition can be difficult.
The direction of the main tunnel changes slightly to the south-southeast. Even though the direction of the tunnel has changed, fresh air still blows from the exit due east. About 4,500 feet east of entrance to tunnel number 1, the main tunnel turns due south for 1,500 feet before it bends south-southwest for another 1,500 feet. It ends in a cavern 3,000 feet long, 800 feet wide, and 20 feet high.
I'm sorry, are we even playing a fantasy adventure anymore?
Well, this was before they made stuff like maps and grids. Okay?
No, I mean, seriously, are you reading a textbook? Could you imagine if Brandon Sanderson wrote his books like that? The Lord Ruler's castle pierced the sky, rain falls down on its steep buttresses. Also, it's 3,500 feet by 6,000 feet by 350 feet wide. And there's 2 towers that are both south, south, north as well.
If you wanted to read a book, go read a book.
Wait, so summarized, there's a tunnel heading south and then turns into a cavern.
Yeah.
So we're about 5 hours into this module, and you may be thinking, 5 hours, barely anything has happened. Well, we make it to the Dragon Teeth Mountains, and we get off the cart, and instead of traveling by carts, we travel by foot through these very long-winded caverns.
The tunnel goes north-northeast for about 2,500 feet until a noticeable split occurs in the trail. Branches lead northwest, northeast, and south-southeast. Of the 3 branches, only one of them is going north-northeast, has a breeze.
So the party meets Thisvin, who is a dwarf that has totally gone mad from living in the tunnels for too long. And the party comes across these rat dog things called osquips. Thisvin totally ends up losing his mind and then martyrs himself.
I've got you orcs now, Thisvin chortles with insane glee. Tonight I will feast in Valhalla while you cringe in Queen Hell's dominion. The ceiling shudders.
Wait, is he sacrificing himself?
Osquips pour out of the facing rock and bear him to the ground.
I'll cast Sanctuary on
The
him.
ceiling collapses, taking the land bridge with it and sealing that cavern.
Wait, we could have done something.
I had to read it. It was in the box.
So we did all this traveling, and the one time I feel like I can make a difference, this guy decides to blow up a bridge we were all capable of destroying from a distance.
May his memory live on with us.
We wouldn't need his memory if he was still alive with us.
I'll just let you guys know that every time he did say something, I had to roll a dice, and that determined whether or not he was lying.
What is this weird lie mechanic? Why are so many people lying to us?
Let's move on. Let's just move on.
I think we should say a few words first.
We knew the guy for like 10 minutes.
He had a profound impact on us all.
Landed. I'm very serious when I say this, but that dwarf led us down a linear path, got bit by a sick dog, and then killed himself.
Paladine, please watch over this, Finn. As he plummets into the stone below so hard, he ends up in the third layer of hell.
He did not plow into the concrete, rather he was accepted by
The
it.
kinetic energy was so vast that it propelled his soul into the abyss.
He hit the ground of the abyss so hard, he bounces back right into your arms.
Praise
the
the
gods.
So there's a bit more traveling underneath the Dragon Teeth Mountains until they come across the orc camp, which has 20 orcs against a party that's supposed to be level 3. And I think any veteran player kind of knows where that's going in the adventure, and, well...
They want us to surrender? There is 20 of them. Paladine would forsaken me if I turned away.
Avishkar hasn't been a prisoner since the last time we were forced to be prisoners.
You can try to fight them.
Yeah.
The orcs won't kill the party when they get them all down. You kind of just move on to the next part of the adventure where everyone's prisoners. But in that rare case...
We won? I actually can't believe we won.
They never stood a chance against the great wizard Avishkar. Now, can someone please get me up?
Yeah, I'll lay on hands. Did we skip something important because we won? Nothing important. Any loot? Yeah. A potion of giant control, plant control, a potion of speed, protection from undead, and a scroll of protection from were-tigers.
What? Why are these items hyper-specific?
Well, they're just there in case you come across them, I guess.
We haven't come across plants, giants, undead, or were-tigers yet.
Would that mean were-tigers have to be in their lichen form in order for us to oppose them? Or is it just anyone with tiger lycanthropy can't be around us?
Why is it specifically tiger lycanthropy? Why isn't it just all creatures with the lichen curse?
Well, I'm sure it's because we'll come across someone with the curse.
There's going to be more orcs outside the cavern, whether or not you defeated all of them inside. But before the party can deal with that, they're interrupted by...
A young girl, blonde, about 16.
Is every friggin' girl in this world 16 years old?
And clad in pastel green and yellow appears. She wears a laurel wreath about her head. Her big brown eyes are on the verge of tears. Will you help me? Those vile creatures are trying to destroy my tree. Please stop them. Sure. Yes. Okay, I think that's all of them. The Dryad persists, is grateful that her home has been spared. Please wait a moment, she says. I have a gift for you.
I really don't want any gift from you. Can we please move on?
She disappears inside her tree and returns a minute later. She holds a small blue glass bottle containing a liquid. It will help you fly.
What is up with weird monster girls offering us various liquids? That's all we done is just walked around and been presented with unknown potions.
It's you guys that are making this weird, okay? This is how these old fantasy stories would go. You fight the monster, you get gold, and you save the girl.
Okay, I just don't know why we're explicitly told they're 16.
It continues. You are welcome to spend the night in my oak. Inside no harm can befall you, neither orcs nor direwolves can enter. Okay, come on.
I'm just going to save you a lot of time and tell you that they run into a castle. It's totally abandoned, but apparently it's inhabited by goblins, but they're out hunting at the moment, and we'll return to that later. But finally, the party makes it to the Forest Oracle. It's a high druid. They're disarmed, and...
I hear you have journeyed quite a way, my friend. The high druid points to a man who stood in the marble sanctuary below. Informs me you have come to the heart of the great old wood to seek wisdom and information. He is silent a moment. How is it that I can help you? Great! Druid, we are here to... If the party relates its story without exaggeration, it includes they aided the nymph and especially the Dryad.
Oh, DM, I don't think you're supposed to be reading this part.
No, it's in the box. At the beginning of the book, it literally says you have to read everything that's inside the box to your players.
I mean, that's clearly a printing or editing error.
Then why would it be in the box? And especially the Dryad, the High Druid acts pleased. He motions for them to be seated on the floor at his feet.
Okay, again, I don't think there's any reason for that to be read out loud like
If
that.
the party lies to him about the nymph or the Dryad...
There is actually no way they put that in this box.
About the nymph or the Dryad, he knows it and asks the person to leave until he has rethought the adventure and wishes to tell the truth.
So is that how the DM segments are written out? That if we just didn't help the Dryad or the nymph, we'd have to go to time out, think about it, and come back? What is the point of that?
Corey, I don't know. I don't know what the point of it is. This entire adventure has just been making me set you guys on a linear path, and when you refuse to do something like that, it makes me put you in a timeout. So for the love of God, can you just do the damn thing so we can get it over with?
I lost my cool a little bit. I acknowledge that. I get it. But it did expedite things a little bit where, in order to get the cure for the blight, the druid tells the party that they must
Go back and fight the goblins? It was empty.
No, you guys were just coincidentally there at the same time the goblins were out hunting.
Well, at least we aren't going in blind. Why not have us just fight the goblins in the first place?
Stop. We agree to the terms.
Great.
So the party heads back to the castle, fights the goblins and wins, and then heads back to the druids where they are thanked for their accomplishments and given the cure for the blight that's going on.
Friends, we have pulled together again to save the town. You guys do have to go bring the potion back to the Downs.
We have to go back.
Yes, and remember there were a bunch of cave-ins on the way there, so you have to take the long way now.
That wasn't the long way?
No, it was actually the quick and safe way.
I don't know if quick and safe is a good descriptor of the path we just took.
Then buckle up for the road back.
So I don't really know what to say at this point during the adventure. The main quest is completed, and there's not really any stakes on getting the potion back to the Downs as quick as possible. So we just wait until they long rest at night across snow-covered peaks in the middle of the mountains. There's a noise heard outside, and so the party decides...
My vortex warp landed outside.
What?
I will smite in the name of Paladine.
What if it's like an orphan begging for bread or money?
Zach, every fiber of my being knows that this writer did not write any kind of moral conundrum that had a consequence other than just waiting around.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an attack roll against this Yeti.
A Yeti?
Yeah, that'll be, 9. Doesn't hit. He's gonna pick you up and run away.
What? Do I roll anything, or?
No, he picks you up and starts running.
Will someone come save me?
No, I don't want to be kidnapped. What if he has friends?
Can I fight him?
No.
Well, what do I do?
Give me a D20 roll.
10.
It looks like we finished the long rest with Corey and Tate.
My character died?
No, not inherently.
What does that mean?
Night melts into day as the two surviving members.
Surviving? So I do need to make a new character.
No, not yet.
Landon, please stop pooping your pants because you attacked the Yeti who was very clearly hungry. Well, Corey vortex warped me.
You didn't roll a save, so clearly you are okay with it.
So you know that thing I said in the beginning that would never come up? Well,
Ahead in the middle of the path waits a young man. He rests his hands on his hips. His gaily colored clothing and the bandana around his forehead contrast with his pencil-thin black mustache. He has a ring of what appears to be pure gold in his right earlobe. He flashes a dazzling smile and bows low in an exaggerated fashion. Good day, hardy travelers. I am Ronaldo. I see that you've had an interesting journey. I hope you are well. His manner seems to be one of genuine concern. You do not know me, but I have heard of you. Not too long ago, I was at Master Bolo's Inn and some passers-by relayed your story. I put 2 and 2 together, and some very strange occurrences seem to suddenly make sense. I tried to catch up to you, but the caverns beneath the Dragon Teeth Mountains are now impassable. I figured the best way to run into you was to meet you here. He shrugs his shoulders and says, and so here I am. Also, Landon, your character's back.
What? How?
You survived the death saving throw.
That's what that was? I'm sorry, who is this guy?
I'll be honest, I have no idea.
Well, no, this is clearly a trap. I don't want any gold. I just want to complete the quest.
Same, since I guess my paladin was kidnapped temporarily.
Thank you, Ronaldo, but we are good. I am not kidding when I say this, but a comically large net falls on you guys and you are forced to go.
What?
A large net falls on you guys and you are taken to Madame Riva's camp.
What is this railroading? Like, I understand we have this, communal agreement that will tell the story together, but can I have some kind of relevancy to a larger goal? I mean, we have finished the main plot. Every side quest that we do is just a continuous chore that gives us more and more to do. And now we have this random guy that comes up to us. I mean, I love Dungeons and Dragons, but for the love of God, we've been playing through 8 hours of this slog.
Okay, so I failed to mention this at the beginning, but it was speculated on that the reason for the blight is that a woman in a caravan put a curse on the land.
oof.
But I'll admit I did not read this far and did not know it would come back up.
I'm still confused. Why haven't we heard about these guys past the first page? Why did they come to us now that we have the cure for the blight?
You're not going to like my answer.
Try to give you a rundown of all these events that transpired before the party originally made it to the Downs. So this traveling camp had a Pegasus that was stolen by an ogre named Olot. Olot demanded 20,000 gold to give the Pegasus back. The traveling camp did not have that, so they asked the farmers of the Downs for 20,000 silver, I guess. The farmers were like, no, we're not going to give that to you. And so Madame Riva did curse the Downs with a blight. So...
But we have the cure. That's why we went and saw the head druid. He gave us that potion.
Madame Riva will tell you that cure in the bottle will not save this year's plants.
But it'll save next year's?
It doesn't say. Here's her proposal. Here is what I'm not going to do an accent. Here's what I propose. You do me a small service, and I will lift the curse on the Downs. If you wish not to deal with me, I will sell you a cure for the curse that blights the Downs.
Okay, how much?
It doesn't really say. I'm assuming 20,000 gold, but they asked the Downs for silver, so I don't really know. Guys, I know we've been playing for 9 hours, and I know some of us have to be up in 6 to go to work, but who are we to stop now? The author wrote this so that we all meet right here, so that this is the climax. Who are we as storytellers to end it on such a low note? So I say we band together. I say we band together and finish this story the right way.
You know what? Frig it. I want to see this through to the end.
I couldn't imagine it goes up from here, but let's do it. It's time to make this thing fun. It's time to tell a story. It's time to prove that any story is worth telling.
It was 4 traps in a row. A gas trap, a water trap, a pitfall trap, and a ball trap. And that was it. You fight the ogre at the end, and then you find 9,000 gold and the Pegasus, to which you give back to Madame Riva, and then she gives you the actual cure for the blight.
100 gold each.
We found more than that on every leg of our journey. I don't even know if that's considered a reward. I find it insulting. Absolutely the most boring adventure I've ever played in my entire life. I sacrificed being awake and aware at my job tomorrow to play this.
Are we all good for next week?
Yeah.
We hated the Forest Oracle. It was a carpool slog that ran on no stakes and drove over a road full of plot holes. But it was also the one we remembered the most. No matter how good or bad the next adventures were, we always brought up the Forest Oracle as a baseline of how bad things could really get. So in a way, the Forest Oracle made itself the most memorable. It's like breaking your femur. You'll never forget it, and you'll never want it to happen again.